So I got my new streaming setup, new microphone. A person asked me like, what type of microphone is it? And I was like, I don't know. It's got pretty LED lights. And unfortunately, it's got like this little brush, like a condom that comes on top of it, and you can't see the LED lights. Why would they put LED lights on it? I don't know. I did get a 4K camera though, so you can see every pimple, every imperfection, which I have. And let me know how it's like, all right? New streaming setup, new chair. I even got a chair, a new gaming chair. The cat hasn't found it yet. When it's going to discover it, it's going to be bad. So, recently, Cyberpunk is the main conversation. And there's a lot of brainlets on various forums that think this is funny. And the answer is that it's not funny. It's actually upsetting. And it's disheartening to see that the gaming community do not have any consumer awareness whatsoever. I mean, the corporations with their attack dogs journalists have managed to completely destroy any resemble of unity when it comes to the gaming community and advocating for things that makes your life good as a consumer. So the joke goes like this. Release a game, and the gamers complain that it's not out yet. The company says, oh, we can't release it because it's unfinished. And then the company finally releases the game, and then people complain that it's buggy. Okay, so there are several things that I would like to point out that are wrong with this. Number one, the developers do not care about the community whatsoever. It doesn't matter just how much the community wants a game. The developers do not release the game because the community wants to. They release the game because the publisher forces them to. They release the game because they have other arrangements. Or they release the game because they really need money. So this is nothing to do with what the people on the forum are demanding. But let's assume that this is the case. Would gamers be in the wrong? Absolutely not. The consumer is never wrong. You know, I grew up in this horrible, far-right country that says the customer is always right. I know, what a Nazi idea, isn't it? But the customer is actually always right. So in this particular case, why do customers really demand something to be released early? It's because they're hyped about the project, right? They're excited about the product that you're making. Why is the customer so excited and enthusiastic about the product that you're making? Because most of these corporations, these multi-million and sometimes billion-dollar corporations, they have a marketing team that they pour millions of dollars into it. Do you know what the marketing team does? They create hype. In other words, the company literally pays to get the fans excited about the game. And when fans get excited about the game, I'm supposed to consider that the fans are in the wrong? That the fans are... I mean, that you actually have billions of dollars spent to do just that. So when you get the fans excited, when you hype it up, then yeah, people are going to be disappointed when it turns out that it's not coming out. If you weren't setting a release date, if you weren't setting a deadline, then people would be like, man, okay, you know, like that's fine. But when you're telling people that it's coming out on November, and some people that are so excited about the product, they decide to take a day off from work or to take some paid leave in order to play the game, yeah, they're going to get ass mad when they find out that the game is not coming out. It's perfectly understandable. It's logically consistent. You cannot say that the consumer is an entitled crybaby because the consumer is the one that puts food on your table, developer or journalist or whomever is making this dumb accusation. The consumer is the one keeping the industry afloat. Without the consumer, you wouldn't have the developer. So don't give me this bullshit that the consumer is in the wrong. He is never in the wrong. He is always in the right. There is no exception to this. There is not a single time is the consumer ever in the wrong. Even when the consumer is wrong, he is still right. Because read rule number 1. My God, I can't believe like I have to explain this shit to Americans. Well, I guess they're Polish, so maybe they haven't gotten the capitalist memo yet. But here's what I suggest. You know, this is just like some low IQ intervention coming from Romania. They will eventually release how much money they spent on marketing, and I'm willing to bet it's somewhere in the lines of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, just to hype up the game. What do you think would have happened if you took that money and you put it into actual development? You took that money and you put it into quality control, you put it into hiring more developers, you put it into someone checking to make sure that the game doesn't have bugs, or hiring another team or anything like that. What do you think would have happened? I would tell you what would have happened. You wouldn't have had this bad release. That's what would have happened. And you know what else would have happened? Word of mouth would have happened. The first Witcher didn't have any sort of promotional thing. It didn't have... Why are people messaging me like right now? Let me just close this. Sorry, my bad. I'm not editing this out. No, fuck no. It's amazing. It's a work of art. But the first Witcher didn't have any sort of advertisement. It didn't have people shilling for it. It didn't have people advocating for it. The reason it managed to become popular is because of word of mouth. People suggested the game to a friend because it was an excellent game. And that's why it got popular. You could have had done the same with Cyberpunk. It didn't need all that promotional material. I mean, Cyberpunk comes from a company which already has a strong name. It's one of the very few gaming companies out there that still has the goodwill of the consumer. So you didn't need to spend all that money on marketing and then release a shit game. It's not excusable, all right? Like, this game was a decade in the development. There is absolutely no reason why it should come out as a broken product. Now, I personally haven't played it that much, but I understand, like, for PC, there's not suffering and loathing as much as there is for people who have it on PlayStation 4. Why do you have a PlayStation 4 to play games on? I don't know, but like, some people do it, and now they're experiencing hardship, pain, and disappointment. Buy a normal PC, like normal people. Okay, just that's my advice. But other than that, no, I don't accept. I do not accept these excuses. It's like, oh, just wait for the patch. Oh, just give it time. It's going to be good. No, these are excuses. No other industry gets away with this shit. All right, like, imagine a movie on Netflix coming out, and there's scenes missing from it, and there's places where it just hops over, or it freezes and it glitches. And when you complain, it's like, oh, well, the movie's just out. Just give it like a couple of months. Like, no. Imagine buying a vacuum cleaner that suddenly goes defective, and it stops vacuuming, and it's like, oh yeah, well, you need to just contact the vacuum company, and they're going to send a guy and fix it right away. It's like, no, that's unacceptable. Right? You pay full money for a product. I expect a working product. Now, in the case of Cyberpunk, it is working. It doesn't have game-breaking bugs. However, it's going to come out from the review. If I were to review a game that has annoying bugs and glitches and all of these graphical impurities, I would give it a lower grade. It deserves a lower grade. I mean, why should I give it like the benefit of the doubt and say, oh no, they're going to fix it later on? I don't care if they're fixing it later on. Like, I want to play it now because I bought it now. I paid full money for it. So please, if you're a gamer, call this shit out. I normally don't tell people what to do, but it frustrates me to no avail. To see that yet again, oh, the customer is in the wrong. Clearly not the corporation. It's almost like all of these people on these gaming forums, they have stock at CD Projekt Red. They probably bought a lot of stock, huh? They had a lot of money to spend during this pandemic, and they decided to buy stock in CD Projekt Red, and now they don't want to see the game failing. Is this what we're dealing with? Definitely looks like this is what we're dealing with, because I can't understand any other way. It's like these corporations have attack dogs. They're not even fans. I mean, like, if you're a fan and you genuinely care about the company, you need to give it some tough love and say, no, this is unacceptable, because at the end of the day, it's for your own good, right? If you really care about a company, you want to see them succeed, and you don't want to see them put shit project out there. Because when they put a shit project out there, CD Projekt Red, what ends up happening is that people get turned off from it. And they're actually going to lose people, they're going to lose money, and then I guess when they lose money, they invest even more into marketing. That's how it goes, honestly. Like, the salespeople are the biggest cancer upon corporations. I kid you not. Kid you not. Anyway, right, let me know what you think. If you're a salesperson in a corporation, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.